All his life, Caio sought silence. After years working as a computer technician in a big, noisy city, he moved to the countryside, to a small house he had inherited from his grandparents, surrounded by dense forest and with no neighbors for miles. All he wanted was peace, away from the constant noise of traffic and hurried voices. His daily routine was simple: breakfast at 7, maintenance on some computers on nearby farms, and returning home before sunset. At night, he liked to listen to the sounds of the forest: crickets, owls, the rustling of trees in the wind. To Caio, that was like a perfect melody. His ordinary world was made of silence, routine, and solitude. No scares, no surprises, until one morning that silence was broken by something that was not part of the forest: a slow, continuous knocking on the back door. Caio got up, still drowsy, trying to rationalize the sound. Maybe it was the wind, maybe an animal, but the knocking continued, always at the same rhythm, as if something knew exactly what it was doing. He approached the door slowly and saw, through the cracks, a strange silhouette, too tall, too thin. Frightened, he backed away. In the following days, the stranger returned. First in the early hours of the morning, then during the day, just watching the house from the edge of the forest without moving, without saying a word. Caio tried to get help, but the only road to the city was blocked by a fallen tree, as if something was preventing his escape. His cell phone battery was draining in minutes, and the radios in the area stopped working. Isolated, he realized that this was no ordinary invasion. Something on the other side of the forest had chosen him as its prey. Now the goal was no longer to maintain a peaceful life, but simply to survive and escape that cursed territory. Over the next week, the noose tightened. Bizarre sounds echoed through the night, voices whispering his name, knocking on windows coming from all sides. He tried to flee on foot down the back trail, but he came back to the same place, as if the forest had swallowed him up and spat him back home. One day, one of the windows was covered in claw marks. On another occasion, he found an old diary hidden under the floorboards of the house, written by his grandfather, reporting similar experiences with the thing in the woods. In the pages, an ancient ritual was described, performed by local residents to seal the entity. But the ritual needed elements that Caio would have to find in the forest: bones of an animal buried in waterlogged soil, owl blood, and a candle made of human fat. The last part made him panic. The nights became more intense and the attacks more frequent. He began to lose track of time, forgetting simple words, as if his mind was slowly being consumed by the evil presence around him. final night, Caio made his choice. Either he would face the entity or he would die there. With the instructions in the diary, he improvised the ritual. He couldn't find a candle made of human fat, so he burned one made of wax soaked in blood from his own hand, hoping that would be enough. When he lit the flame in the middle of the room, all the lights went out, and the creature entered. It was tall, with long limbs like twisted branches, pale skin like ash, and empty eyes. The house shook. Caio recited the words from the diary, even though his voice was breaking while he held the candle to his chest. The creature advanced, its fingers cutting the air like invisible razors. At the last line of the incantation, the candle's fire exploded into a white light that swept everything around. Caio fell unconscious. When he woke up, the sun was shining and the presence was gone. The forest was silent again, but now, an eerie, almost respectful silence. He survived, but he would never be the same again. The lesson was clear to Caio. Not all silence is a sign of peace. Sometimes what is quiet is just waiting for the right moment to strike. He returned to the city soon after, selling his house, and cutting ties with that place. People called him paranoid, said that isolation had driven him crazy. But Caio knew what he saw, and he knew that there are things that cannot be explained. He learned that escaping the chaos of the city does not mean escaping the horrors of the world, because some horrors make no noise, leave no clues. They just wait, patient, in the shadows of oblivion. His new world was now simpler, but he never slept with the lights off again. Never again.